Okay, so kindly open your 3D model, the one that you're working on, or any model for now. And hopefully you have completed most of the material, adding of material. And you have created a nice camera view. Again, the requirement is you should follow either the rule of thirds, where you place the most, you know, exciting part of the building at the third of the frame, or some type of application of design principle, right? You're emphasizing something, you're trying to show a repetition of something so that your frame or your render looks really good. Likewise, you want to put a foreground object. The middle ground object normally is the building, and then you have a background object. Now, one technique that we do in rendering is to add a green background. Why do you think we add green backgrounds?
Easy to edit.
Easy to remove in a post-production editing software like Photoshop. So you place a green background, and then you can replace that green background with maybe a mountainscape or cityscape. Okay, so to do that, once your render or your frame is exactly the way you want it, okay, you go to the camera view by typing V. V is a shortcut for view. So you go to the camera view. So you get the view manager. You go to the camera view. Okay. You set that to current and you hit apply. Okay. So you can go to different camera views, set current, apply. You can also go to the preset views using the view manager. Okay. But normally we would like to go to the camera view. We would like to render. Okay. Set current, apply, and then click OK. Now, how do we get the green background? Well, going back to view, you go down below and you'll see uh, somewhere here, if you click on camera, you'll see there background. Now, within AutoCAD, you can actually use a sun and sky option of lighting or showing the background. You can change the values here. And likewise, intensity of the sun. So color. So you can do that. Sun and sky. Again, set current and apply. Okay. Now, click OK. The sun and sky background will not render immediately. If you go to a realistic view, it doesn't really show until you render. So under the visualize tab, you can see here render to size. Now, when you are starting rendering, so again, you're doing this after you have created a nice camera view, you added lights, you added, of course, the materials. Now you have the option to render. normally you'll start with the low quality render. You're just trying to check the effect of your settings. So you click the render button and you get this frame. That's the sun and sky. So that will be enough in most cases if you're just doing a study of your render. Now, again, you should have a foreground, middle ground, and the sky becomes your background, but you don't want to show the horizon line. That's the horizon line right there. So I don't want to see any horizon line. It should be hidden by either trees, fences, bushes, other buildings, okay? So that it doesn't appear that your building is the only building in sight. So that's how you render using the sun and sky. And then you can save this, okay, if you are already done. So that's how you save your images. Now, but before you do that, if you are satisfied with what you have rendered, then maybe you can go to a high quality render, or better but longer will be the coffee break quality. That's about 10 minutes render. Lunch quality, about an hour of render. Overnight quality, as it says, overnight 12 hours of render. You can also manage the presets. Window preset will open and you can change where you're going to be rendering. Do you want to render in the window, or select a window area that you'd like to render the entire viewport, or you can define a region. Okay, you can add the name here. Okay, and likewise you can say what level of render do you want to get, right? Level 1 up to 100. But the higher the level, the longer the render will be. And the reason for that is, when AutoCAD or any rendering application renders the scene, it considers the bouncing of the light. So light bounces back and forth, and it keeps retracing and improving the quality resolution of the render. So that's what's happening. Now, again, you can go to whatever quality render and the size of the render. 1024 by 764 is okay. Of course, if you are printing it, depending on the size of the print, then you'd like to maybe change that. So that's the preset. Okay, so you can get that by managing the preset. Okay, so if you click on the coffee break quality and hit render, notice that it's taking a longer time for it to finish the render. Okay, so I'm not going to complete that. Now, going back to view, V, shortcut key, you can also change the background to a gradient background. So sometimes this is plenty, this is good enough. Again, making sure that you hide the horizon line. So there are 2 color. You can also select 3 colors if you want to, but normally there'll be a dark and a light color, dark and light. You can interchange the 2. So if you want this to be, let's say, a dark blue, and this to be a lighter shade of blue or white, you can click OK, apply, click OK, and then do a high quality render, and you'll get a gradient background. So that's the sun and sky background. Now we're rendering a high quality gradient background. Now, the last option is to render it placing an image at the back. So a cityscape, landscape. Okay, I think it didn't show my gradient background. Let's do that again. View, camera 1. Yeah, it's supposed to render something like this, but not sure. Now, once you have gradient or solid and you're not able to edit, or the window to edit the colors is not showing, you can click edit instead and then select gradient. Okay. And for some reason, my gradient background did not show. I'm just going to use this for now. Click OK and maybe render this using low or medium quality render. Something's not happening with my render. Sometimes it's the memory of the computer. Doesn't have enough memory to show. But let's try saving this and let's see what happens. Gradient background. And click 32 bits. Click OK. Let's see if it actually rendered my gradient background. Downloads. Nope, it did not. Still has that. So I'm not sure what's happening, but normally you should see a gradient background here. Okay. Now, so notice that whatever you're seeing here is not exactly what will render. So don't be fooled by what you're seeing here, even if you have the realistic visual styles. Okay. So again, lastly, if I type view, go to my camera and select now image. Okay. Now you are able to browse for an image that you can show at the background. So I'll just say all images, and I'm going to use this. Sometimes the hard part with using images is choosing the perfect image that will match your scene. Because, normally you can just put any image, but then does it make sense in terms of its context? Like this is a road here, right? So it doesn't make sense to put that image here. But I'm just showing you the technique right now. Some visualization artists will actually take photos of the site where the building will be and use that as the image. So everything is in proper context. Okay, so I'm going to use this. You can download this, I think, in week 11 or 12, this image, or you can select over the internet any appropriate image. Okay, now here you can adjust the image so that it stretches. You can also tile it. So you want to actually stretch it so that it's just one whole entire background stretch throughout the scene. Okay, you click OK to that. Click OK. Okay, set current, apply, and then click OK. Again, it will not necessarily show here, even if, well, sometimes it does, right? Okay, see how it doesn't really match our scene, but that's the technique. Okay, now we render this. I don't know, there it is. Now it's rendering. Okay, so you can actually place an image if you don't have Photoshop or any other application. You can do it all within AutoCAD. Okay, so luckily images show, and notice it's also pixelated, so it's not really good, but that's the technique. Find a high resolution in context image that you could use as a background. You can also do that in Photoshop by using the green screen, blue screen, or whatever background color technique. Okay, so you do that by selecting solid color. Select the color. Why do you think we use green? Why green for the background? You've seen movie makers, right? They have green screen. Why green? What's that? Because we're sustainable. Is that what you said, Janine? To stand out. Actually, green, it's because most of the color of the maybe costume doesn't have the green color. So they can remove that green color by selecting a sample pixel of that green. That's why they use green. Sometimes they use blue, so blue screen. You can actually use any color, right, that is not being used in the scene. So, and you can remove that in Photoshop. Okay, but for this one, I'll just say green. Again, click OK. And if you select solid and that interface where you assign the color doesn't show, simply click edit and then select solid. Okay, then you can select the color. So again, we'll select a darker green. Click OK. OK. Set current, apply, and click OK. And then we render this, and I get the green background. Now, what will happen is that I'm going to save this, and then next week, we're going to edit it in Photoshop. So it saves it as a PNG. You can use Targa, TIFF, JPEG. PNG is actually good. I think Targa will be, or TIFF will be of a higher resolution. So just work with PNG for now. Okay, so save the file. So green background, and then save. Okay, 32 bits. Click OK. And that's how you save your render. Okay, so those are the three options. Again, under view, camera, either solid, gradient, image, or sun and sky. So four options. Okay. Any question regarding rendering within AutoCAD? Okay, so you have those options, and you need to decide whether you're going to use green screen, render an image. I don't recommend rendering an image within AutoCAD. I'd rather do that in Photoshop. Okay, green actually is your best option. Green background. So render a green background. Now, do you need to add more model objects here? That's up to you. Do you need to add a rock here, a blade of grass, a branch? Look at architectural renders. You can search for architectural renders, and you can maybe get some ideas, right? So, do you need to do the background within AutoCAD or Photoshop? do you need to add this tree here? Those are actually easy to add in Photoshop. Okay, so once you know that technique, with layers, you can place things in front and at the back of your render. So a good quality render is basically what you need. That will be the base for your render. Okay, and then background could be added in Photoshop. Okay, but you have, of course, the ability to add some of the renders here. The difficulty in photo adding things in Photoshop, like people and all that, is the lighting. See, sometimes the lighting, you have a picture that's backlighted, front lighted, and it doesn't match the lighting that you have set here. Okay. Now, talking about lighting. Okay. One light that you can add to your scene is what we call a distant light. The web light is actually proprietary. It's coming from, the information is coming from manufacturers. So they would have web lights that you can add to your scene. So, but distant light, okay? To add a distant light, you need to go to the plan view. So plan, current UCS, which is the World Coordinate System UCS. You want to be here, similar to adding a camera, you want to add, or you can add your distant light. So again, let's just review adding cameras. Okay, you type CA, select cam or camera. Now, you want to place your camera either in the front, somewhere here, okay? So you want to, similar to taking photos, place your camera. You type point XY. That means the area, the point you're going to click will be the X and Y coordinates, okay? And then AutoCAD will ask you for the Z or height of the camera. So you can type there maybe 5 feet 6 inches. Okay, enter. So now the camera is placed at this location with a height of 5 feet 6 inches. Now it's asking you to place the target. Where do you want to point your camera? Similarly, you want to say point XY, enter, and you want to go beyond the building, okay? So for a bigger field of vision. So you click somewhere here, and then once you click, it will ask for the height of the target. If you want your picture to have vertical lines that are straight, 90 degrees going up, the height of the target should also be the same as the height of your camera. So if we place 5 feet 6 inches, the height of your target should also be 5 feet 6 inches. Okay? You can name your camera. For now, we'll just say exit. And once you click that camera, you see the view that your camera gets. And you can select, let's say, shaded or realistic. And notice that the vertical lines are straight. And again, the reason for that is because the height of the camera is the same as the height of the target. You can right click on the camera while in shaded mode and select properties. And you'll see there the height of the target, 5 feet 6 inches, and the height, Z, of the camera. So you can change that. You can move your camera by clicking the icon, the gizmo, so you can move this, adjust it. So maybe you'd like to focus on the S, or you can tweak it so that you're following your either rule of thirds or foreground and adding your foreground, middle ground, background. So you can make changes here. You can change the lens length. So let's say 35 for those who are familiar with SLR cameras. Okay, so these are some of the values that you can change. Okay, so field of view, lens length. Okay, so you don't need to come closer or move your camera. You can also adjust this. Now, like I said, similar to adding cameras, you can add spotlights like the same way. So spotlight, you can say point X, Y. Okay. So let's say maybe somewhere here. And then it will say need Z. So maybe I'll just say 4 feet. Okay. And then the target. So I can also say point XY. So that's a filter, XY filter. So maybe I want to put some light on the S. So maybe here, somewhere here. And then need Z. Maybe I want it to be pointing a little bit upward. So maybe 5 feet. Okay. Enter. So adding camera, adding spotlights is similar. And the same is true with adding a distant light. Okay. So with distant light, this is like a how many have been to Niagara Falls where they have the big light pointing toward the falls? That's your distant light, right? So it's like the sun. Okay, so you can click here, distant light. Now, normally I would say allow distant light, and then I want the light pointing toward the building. You want it in the front. If your camera's right here, you don't want it backlighted, okay, where the shadow will go in the front of the building. So you want the light to be here. So again, I will say point X, Y. Click here. Need Z. This one should be really high. Let's say about 100 feet. Enter. And then for the direction, the light direction, I will move to an isometric view. Hold down the shift key. Click the middle mouse button. And then maybe I want the light pointing somewhere here. Okay. And then exit. Okay. So that's how you add a distant light. Okay. You can add more than one distant light. And then go back to your view. Okay. So I think this one is camera 4. Okay. So set current, apply. So that's my camera 4. Click OK. And then let's try rendering this with my distant light. So render high quality. Click render. And it's dark. Okay. So doesn't look like there's light in the background. So what I can do is I can select the light. So I can go here. Just a second. Go to visualize, and you see this button right here, lights in model. That's a down arrow. You click that and you'll see the lights being used in the scene. So I can click on one of those lights, right click, select properties, and then I can again increase the intensity. So let's say 20. Let's see how that works. So I think my background is not being lighted. Maybe that's turned off, but the building is properly lighted. Okay, so let's see if I can change that to a green screen. View camera 4. There you go. It says none, right? That's why. So I'm just going to reselect this. So you might need to go back. Click OK. Set current, apply, and then click OK. Okay, then you'll have a green screen with the distant light. I think I have quite a bright spotlight. So again, you need to keep adjusting until you get it perfectly, and then you do a high or coffee break render. Okay, again, to change the light properties, you need to click this button right here, lights in model. Okay, and then you simply select, let's say, the spotlight. Okay, properties, and then you can tune down the intensity if you want to. If you want a filter color, you can add some type of color. It's like if you've been to theater, sometimes they have color lights, so you can apply that as well here. So all those are properties of the light. Okay, so lights, camera, render. That's pretty much it. Okay.
Finally did all three.
Yes. Okay. So I think like a movie maker. If you have things inside, you can delete those, save the file as, let's say, exterior render. But do take note, if you have a glass, panoramic glass like this, you might be able to see those things that are inside, and it will actually create a better view, better render. So, all of those need to be considered. Okay. So those are ways you can use AutoCAD to produce a render. Now, but normally you don't stop there. If you only have AutoCAD, you have an office, that's all you can afford, you don't have Photoshop, then you either render a gradient background, a sky background, or image. Place the image already here. But normally I would just, images are hard to synchronize. So normally I would just do a sky or a gradient background. And then I will place all my trees here already if I only have AutoCAD. Otherwise, you render a green screen background, and then you can export that into Photoshop. And that's what we're going to be doing on Friday. Okay, Photoshop starting Friday. Now, another thing that you can do is you can open your model once your render are done within SketchUp. Okay, now the nice thing about SketchUp is you can further add using 3D warehouse, 3D models within SketchUp. And then after you have done completing maybe models in SketchUp, landscaping and all that, and then you can open Enscape. So Enscape is built in our SketchUp file or application, and you'll get something like this. Okay, so that's maybe a bit of an improvement. So you can further adjust your view, Okay. Enscape will be in SketchUp. So the first thing that you want to do is import your model. So import, and we can import DWG files. So that's what I did here. I imported the DWG file. And then from here, again, you can add models, 3D models. There are tons that you can find under 3D Warehouse. You just have to create an account and then turn on Start Enscape. Once you click that, Enscape starts, and then you can
You need to go to the extensions.
extensions.
Yeah. It would be.
It's not showing us Enscape.
Not default.
Ah, okay.
You need to
install that.
sometime.
Yeah. Okay. But otherwise, you can have a nice completed render here. Okay. Not even passing through Photoshop. Okay. Quality is improved. And then you can also zoom in, and you can
Too far.
too far.
Not to do this. Saw the Big Bang.
Yeah.
Oh, that was antimatter.
Antimatter. Yeah. But I don't have lights inside, right? So it's kind of dark and gloomy inside my building.
Is it blue and red inside?
Yeah. So this is the light coming from the window. Okay.
This just hurts.
It's like a video game. There's a exterior, interior. So not really great in the interior, but do play around with Enscape. There's a nice, maybe quick, especially for the exterior. They don't have an icon here. It just says Start Enscape. Oh, are you using your laptop?
Yeah. That's why we don't.
Yeah. So go to Rob and get some assistance. Okay. So there are Enscape material, asset library, Enscape objects that you can also add into your sphere spot. Okay. But this is again a different software. I'm not going to dwell too deep into Enscape because there's a better one which I prefer, that one we use, which is Lumion. Okay. So Enscape is there, nice and easy, quick, right? You can use that for presentation, for studio. There are a lot of different items that you can investigate. Okay. But otherwise, the next option is within SketchUp as well. Here, again, if you have subscription and you have this sync, is the Lumion Live Sync. So you turn this on, and you should be able to have your model in Lumion. Okay, within Lumion. Now, this one is very powerful. It creates, a bit of a photorealistic render. And the way this one works is you go to the import the model. You simply live sync this within SketchUp, or you import a model. So you import the model, and then you can add let's say trees, so nature. So you click here and you have a bunch of options. So a nice big tree, right? And you can scale that up or down. Okay. Place. You can place maybe two of those or maybe a different version of that. So a little taller maybe. So you can play around with this and it's really quite powerful, right? Now, there are of course different types of trees depending on where your buildings is located, okay? And then there are people as well. Now be careful with the walking people. Unless you know how to animate it, it will feel like it's doing a Michael Jackson, uh, you know, let's see, walking, like doing something like that. But you have to animate that person, right? So you have to give it a pat. I'm not going to show that anymore here, but a nice person that's simply maybe standing, not, or they're all walking, right? Or maybe a talking person right here is good. So somebody talking, and maybe add somebody to talk to. Okay. Uh, so people, right, and pets as well. So you have nice pets there. Some transport that you can add. Okay, so not difficult, and maybe some objects that you can add maybe in the for the interior, right? So something for the interior. So I went here in our lab computer. This normally would all open. Yeah, and then just click on the play button. Yeah. Did you import your file in SketchUp?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then click the play button. Okay, so kindly use the CAD lab computers. Yep.
For the rendering submission, what type of file are you looking for? Just like PNG, JPEG,
Yep.
or
Yep.
okay.
And of course your 3D model, right? AutoCAD DWG.
Okay.
Okay. So uh yep, people, and then lights. You can turn on lights. You can even have some effects, right? So fountain, waterfall, okay? But you have to put it in context. So what's the context? You need to go to landscape, okay? And then you can add maybe some mountain. So you click mountain, you can raise this up. So it builds a mountain there. There you go. And then you can place some waterfall there. So you can also lower things down. So you can lower the ground. So lower or raise. Quite nice, easy to manipulate. And then once you lower the ground, you can add maybe some water. So you can choose the water type, maybe some ocean type. Click that. Maybe you need to, and then place. Let's see. Uh, and then you create, put a rectangle. There's the water, and then you just resize this, lower it a little bit. Okay, so it's just in the depressed area. Okay. And then you have grass. What else do we have here? And then some weather type, right? So maybe you can bring down the too dark. Okay. And if you have lights here, it will actually shine brightly. Okay. So sun brightness, cloudiness, you want to add some clouds. Very easy to okay, direction. You can actually create nice renders using Lumion, and I will allow that. Okay. You can add materials here. So materials, click on the object, and then you have different materials here. Color, glass. Okay. So you don't want glass for that, of course. Soil, metal, okay. Iron. So there are different materials here. And then likewise, some nice texture. Okay. And then when you want to render within Lumion, you can also click the check button. You go back here, and then you select photo for rendering. You can also create a movie. Okay, so photo, you select a frame, and let's say you're happy with this view, you can change that. There's the rule of third frame. Okay, so reframe it, zoom in, zoom out. Okay, you can further adjust, and then once you're happy with the view, you can then render. Okay, so you click the render button. What's the size? Print size, okay, or email size, so it's smaller. So let's just say email size, save. Let's say 1, save. It gets rendered. Click OK, and that should show here. You bring it, put it down. Okay, bring it down so that you are able to save and go back to that view. Okay, you can create another one. Again, maybe a different view, and then store the camera setting. Okay, but if you want to render, you click the render photo. Okay, that's why you see a lot of other students, higher level students, using Lumion, because it's very useful, very quick, and renders really well. Okay, so again, email or print for higher quality images. Okay, so 2S, save that. It gets rendered, click OK. Now, if you want to go back to a scene, you simply double click on it. Okay, that's why you save the photo setting. Now, for animation, right, you can click on movies. Okay, click on movie, and then you can either add a path preset to your scene. Okay, so you can click here, add preset. You can either create an orbit, a dolly shot, a pan tilt. These are presets. So let's say orbit. Zoom out. Okay, and let's see. Orbit, start angle. I'm not able to see my orbit. Let's choose the other one first. Dolly. There's dolly right there. Okay. And then you can click on path, and that's what your camera is seeing. Okay. So that's a preset. But you can go to FreeCam and then adjust this. So you can move it higher. So Z value. So instead of 70, let's say make it 200. Okay, maybe a little higher, maybe 500. Okay, and then go back to on path. That's what you're seeing. We're way off the field already. I think here, from here, it went away. So you might need to adjust that. Okay. But it's easy to manipulate. Free cam. Okay. Start point, end point. So you can change this to where you want your camera to be looking at. Okay. So dolly on path. Or you can go back to free cam and then you can change this. Okay, you can move this. You can bring it higher, lower, and you can make it bigger by changing the start point. And then I think how do I change I think that's the dolly option already. Dolly, okay, maybe just like that. Let's see, on path. Showing the background. Yeah, but it's not looking at my camera. Anyway, once you have set this, you click OK. And then you can, once you like the clip, then you can render it. Okay. So open Lumion, play around with it, and see whether you like that style. You like the render, you can animate quickly your studio project. You click render, and then let's start with small. It creates an MP4 file, so you can render a video. Okay. Okay, so you can go build, add materials, click save changes, take photos, or create a movie. Okay, for this course, I'm only interested in renders, interior and exterior render. Okay, so Lumion is another way of doing renders. Again, allowed for the final submission either in in an exterior and interior render. So play around with this, and if that creates a nice render for you, you can take advantage of the materials available here, or also take advantage of the landscaping capabilities. Okay, adding water, adding uh, water and other items. Okay,